The GBPUSD also has been in a huge consolidation phase. Remember, we have been looking out for selling opportunities on the GBPUSD, and the reason why we had the situation here is simply because of the selling pressure we have been noticing around the 1.22500 since last week's trading session. Though we had a little breakout of that structure here, which appears to be a false one, considering the fact that as soon as price tested the 1.22900 level, we begin to see some selling pressure that led back to the breakdown of the 1.22500 level. And since the breakdown of the 1.22500, price action has been trading below that level to further emphasize the strength of the sellers at this point. So going into the New York session yesterday, we had the situation here where we said if price continue to trade below the 1.2200 level, a retest of that structure, we saw the breakdown of that structure. Price action has done some couple of retests of this level. We want to be in a sell position, so we are already in a sell position right now, and the sell position is still running as price action continue to trade below the 1.22 level. But one thing about the structure here since last week is the fact that price has been caught within a channel, a range between the 1.22500 and the 1.21650 level, to further emphasize that there is some level of indecision in this market as participants are not sure where price will be heading. So people have been trading within a range of about let's see, a range of about 70 pips, 70 80 pips thereabouts since the later part of last week. So if you're already in this trade right now, you sold right below the 1.22200 level, well done. And the next, if you had missed that move, well, I will be advising that you remain patient at this point, and we want to be seeing price action break down the 1.21650 level to give us another good opportunity to add more position to our existing trade. In fact, if price breaks down the 1.21650, we should be very comfortable in our sell position. As you can see here, this level since Friday has been holding by pressure, and we really need to see that breakout of that level, breakdown of that level, to give us a real confirmation that sellers are gradually coming in this market. Now, I would like us to look at the daily time frame at this junction. Let's see what is going on there. Let's have an holistic view of what is really happening there, and let's see if we are really on track as we continue to monitor price action. So back to the daily time frame here. Throughout last year, obviously, we noticed how the bearish momentum had gripped this market, and as a result of this, we had this bearish trend line after connecting the series of lower highs here. However, during the later part of the month of September, we saw this bullish momentum started here at the 1.0400 level, and then price continued to find higher lows, which led to the breakout of that bearish trend line. So that trend line here did not have the capacity to hold bearish momentum anymore. So we had a new bullish trend line here, which guided price action into the 1.200 level here, and this trend line will continue to guide our trading activity. In addition to the trend line here, this bullish trend line is the 1.200 level, which we said is going to be our key level for this year. And if we look as far back as June of last year, we saw how that level had been a major determinant of price action. So we can see at the beginning of the year, we saw buy pressure come in right above that bullish trend line to incite a bullish momentum. And one thing about this structure is it has a tendency of breaking out of the 1.22400 level, considering our price action has respected that bullish trend line, and at the same time breaking out of the 1.200 level. However, something interesting happened last week as we saw a choppy situation on the GBPUSD, where price action was caught within a consolidation phase between the 1.22500 level and the 1.21200 area. So we had a choppy situation here as the 1.22500 level continued to reject all attempts by the buyers to break out of that structure. So at this point, we need to be very careful. As to buy the GBPUSD at this point, we need an outright breakout of the 1.22500 to give us that confirmation that buyers are gradually coming in this market. Now, if we look at what happened during the trading session yesterday, look at this candle. It closed in the form of a shooting star candle, and when you look up a shooting star candle from a technical standpoint, it's giving us a sign that sellers are still very strong in this market, and you can see the continued rejection of the 1.22500, further emphasizing that level as a strong selling niche. So at this point, like I said yesterday, I'm not sure if it will be appropriate for us to sell below the structure if we continue to see selling pressure here from the daily time frame, looking at it from the daily time frame here. And one thing that will give us good confirmation is a breakdown of this bullish trend line followed by selling pressure below the 1.200 level to give us a real confirmation that sellers are coming in and are in this market to stay. But if price continues to stay above the 1.200 level, if we take some sell position here, we need to be very careful, move our stop loss accordingly as price action moves in our direction. But buying the GBPUSD now, we want to be seeing a 1.22500 level break before we can be thinking of buying based on this current structure. So now scaling back to the 1 hour time frame, let's see how price action has been reacting to the 1.22500 level since the beginning of this week. Now look at the 1.22500 level here. It's a golden line we've identified here, so you can see the sell pressure around that level, though we had a breakout initially at the beginning of the week, but price came back below that structure and price has been trading below that level. So for me at this point, if price continue to remain below the 1.2250 level at the 1.22200 level, we will be comfortable in our sell position. And if we are lucky enough and price action does an outright breakdown of the 1.21650, well, at this point I will be very comfortable in my sell position at this point. So if for the breakdown, we'll welcome additional position. If for the breakdown of the 1.2100 level also, which also has this buy pressure here since the second week of this year, also will be welcoming another position at this point. So let's remain bearish at this point as long as price remain below the 1.22500 level. So we still remain bearish. We're looking out for holding onto our buy position, sell position rather, and look out for opportunities to add more position at the breakdown of structure. So if price breaks out of the 1.22500 level, then we could be thinking of buying the GBPUSD at this point. But for now, let's keep on holding to our sell position here. So that's been said here on the GBPUSD. If you have any questions, feel free to drop your inquiries in the comment section.